Hello everybody, let's start talking about the Dorian mode or the Dorian scale. So it is the second mode of major scale. So for example, if you have D Dorian, then the parent scale would be C major, because D is the second note of C major scale, and they would share the same notes. One very important thing is D Dorian is different from C major. It simply wouldn't work if you play C major over D Dorian chord progression. It would sound alright, but a lot of things, a lot of nuances would be missing if you do it that way. We'll discuss that very soon. So again, if you have the C major scale, and the second mode would be Dorian, and if you start the scale on D and end on D, and treat D as the root note, such as this one, you would have a formula like this: root, major second, flat 3. Okay, so that means we have a minor sounding scale here, definitely. Fourth, perfect fifth, major 6, and a flat 7, and then root again. All right, so Dorian is best thought of as a minor scale with some tweaks. Okay, so let's take a look. A better way to think about it is D Dorian is actually the D natural minor scale with a raised sixth, all right? Or simply with a major sixth instead of a flat 6. If you write out a D natural minor scale and compare it yourself, you would see it instantly. So D, E, F, G, A, B flat, which is a flat 6. And then D Dorian is a D natural minor, you know, basically the same all the way up here, all the way up until the A note. And then you have this B note, which is a major 6, okay? C, D, and then C, D. And another way to think about it is you can think of it in terms of a minor pentatonic. So if you write out D minor pentatonic, that's D flat 3. So root, flat 3, the fourth, fifth, D, F, G, A, and then flat 7, a C note, you see. And you can think of the Dorian scale as a minor pentatonic with a major 6 added to it and also a major second, so E note, okay? That's another way to think about it. It's really useful, especially when you're playing it in a modern context. So a lot of things, say, in rock and roll and blues are based on minor pentatonic. And if you know your pentatonic well, then you can just add these two notes in to make it the Dorian sounding scale. All right? So sound-wise, again, definitely minor sounding, but it's brighter than the natural minor scale due to the major 6. So flat 6 is darker because it has that half step distance from the perfect fifth. So major 6 would be a brighter sounding note than flat 6. And the characteristic notes are major 6 again, very important, and also a flat 3. And I would say the flat 6 is the major 6 here is more important here because when you hear Dorian, it's definitely minor, but what distinguishes it from natural minor is the major 6, okay? In general, there are no avoid notes. There are no avoid notes, so all the notes are good to use. And you have this typical chord progression, D minor 7 going into G dominant 7. So one chord going into a 4, and then you make it the dominant 7 chord. And that's a typical Dorian chord progression. Say if we're in D Dorian, then you can have a chord progression that goes from D minor 7 to G dominant 7. And we will talk about that in the upcoming videos. Okay? So that's the Dorian scale. We'll work out some exercises very soon. Okay? See you there.